Bahrain Parks has the main objective of helping the government to support the creation of policies and increase the efficiency of planning, designing, and managing the built environment. We started by approaching the public urban parks. The project was initiated in 2016 at the University of Bahrain. We then obtained the support of the Ministry of Works and of the National Initiative for Agricultural Development, NIAD, who is now our sponsor. I would like to publicly thank Her Excellency Sheikha Maram bint Isa Al Khalifa, Secretary General of the NIAD, for the support. I'm going to start with a general summary on the benefits of parks and present the genesis of the project. Then I'm going to discuss our aims and objectives, followed by a live demo of the application. Urban parks have a deep and long-standing place in cities worldwide and have gotten prominency in the fight against climate change. Parks have several roles in at least two domains: the social and the environmental. Socially, they provide opportunities for socializing, exercising, and for children to play. The exercising component is particularly important for matters of public health, such as physical inactivity, an epidemic of the developed world to which the region is not immune. Environmentally, parks contribute to mitigate air pollution, high temperatures, and acoustic pollution. They promote aquifer recharge and support biodiversity. Bahrain has more than 200 public parks. The government invests millions of dinars on parks every year. Some of the parks are very good and popular, so much so that at times some become an issue due to overuse, creating severe congestion. However, it is not clear what makes some parks so much more successful than others. Ideally, we would like to have a more balanced performance, or at least to be able to anticipate the level of use to allow us to design accordingly. Bahrain Parks was shaped based on thoughts around this issue. We aim at making parks smart. A smart city is one that has information technology at the center of most services it provides. We tend to think of smart city as an automated cascade of live information leading to action. As I will show, Bahrain Parks has such component. But another component that excites us even more is the development of an infrastructure of knowledge. One that is informative for decision-making regarding the planning and designing of the built environment. This implies a deviation from real-time action and must be done in a progressive manner. We are not focused on final results, the eventual knowledge accrued after several years, but on the process of achieving it. We are setting up the project to build a catalog of empirical regularities, not theories. These might emerge later out of empiricism. This does not mean that we dismiss theory, we just can't create theory based on live, short-term focus. We are pursuing evidence-based intervention, supported by live data and short-term experimental tinkering, trial and error, if you will. We believe that by gathering data and analyzing it, we can create optionality. Through small, rational, and documented trial and error, we can filter ideas. That is, we reduce losses while creating exposure to large gains by applying proven strategies. I should clarify that we don't actually run pilot studies on our own. We want to measure the contribution of parks to the environment and to society. We aim at finding, for each park, the dollar amount of its yearly contribution. It is not often that we hear the words return on investment when talking about parks. But we do believe, like Scott Campbell, that environmental protection, social justice, and economic development, three pillars of urban planning, can be three aspects of the same reality and not competitors. and the parks can embody the three. In summary, we aim at using evidence-based design. We create a hypothesis and estimate outcomes. Then we measure real outcomes to assess the change in performance. If we get better at it, over time we get smaller deltas, which are a measure of increased design efficiency. So now to what we are doing. We are creating a comprehensive database of parks and related data, from park listings to features such as children playgrounds, restrooms, to more planning and design-oriented information, such as the location and quantification of areas. We created a data-driven web application that helps make the data available to different stakeholders and assists with data collection, as well as with increasing the general awareness of parks. When we started discussing our initial ideas with others, we realized that people in general aren't aware of the dimension of the park stock in Bahrain. We did a small informal survey only among our students and measured the perception of the total number of parks in the country at an average of 19. In reality, there are just over 200 public parks, an order of magnitude above the perceived average. The increase in awareness may lead to an increase in usage, which is one of our aims. We are including public participation through user ratings, categorized counts, and surveys. These are part of assessment mechanisms and exist for the benefit of social inclusion. In the process, we also hope to reduce vandalism. We have barely started, and we do not yet have a complete list of parks, but allow me to give you one example of output. At the moment, the municipalities outsource the daily cleaning of the parks. To assess the service, they must visit them. Our alternative is the rating system. Visitors rate cleanliness among other 4 criteria. And this data is made available online in real time through our app. So municipalities have a live feedback mechanism that facilitates the periodical assessment, with the advantage that it provides for time-wise quantification and benchmarking. Instead of having to visit all the parks, they can just check online and focus their efforts on the ones with issues. Later on, when there is more data, there will be an algorithm that detects any sharp drop in standard and notifies the park manager in real time. Another example of what is to come. The vegetation of the parks produces green waste, which today is disposed in landfill. Knowing the exact amount and composition of this waste, as well as its seasonal fluctuations, could help us use such resource rather than throwing it away. We aim at producing data that could support the creation of an industry. Overall, the data that we are gathering with this project may perhaps become a source of information for the creation of a formally documented national sustainability plan. We are also conducting categorized user counts in order to have a baseline to measure the success of interventions and identify trends. We aim at starting the inventory of vegetation and of green waste very soon. We developed a web application that centralizes data on the parks and openly makes it available to all stakeholders. All the data that we are collecting in a semi-automated way can eventually be collected by sensors in the future. One note on development. We started the project last year. We are now in phase 2, proof of concept. Our first aims are to further develop frequent dialogue with practitioners, what we call professional users, and to create the habit of rating parks among the general population. We are a multidisciplinary team in expansion.